Okay, we took a short break. Very, very short. Just like 3 days. Nothing too long. And now we are back for Order of the Phoenix. Uh, fifth movie, fifth year at Hogwarts. Let's go ahead, get into this. Uh,
Alright,
we've already said how excited we were going in. I think you can kind of see a pattern at this point: 8.59, 9.5, 10.
yeah.
Our excitement just started to increase as we went. So now let's just get into the plot line. Let's try and see what do we remember from this movie. Let's look at the trailer.
Right now, I don't remember anything at all.
Okay, good, because I don't really either. Okay, so I remember at the very beginning the basketball game, not the basketball game.
Basketball,
Hey,
Quidditch.
no. Harry just I remember in like one of the first scenes, Harry uh sitting on a swing, and then doesn't uh one of the Dudleys, the boy, his cousin,
His friend?
comes up and he just bullies the heck out of him. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that was a beautiful scene.
what was it? Not a Death Eater. Is it a Death? Not a
That was
Death
beautiful.
Eater. A
A Dementor. Dementor.
a
No,
Dementor.
it starts raining, right? It starts
Yeah,
raining first. And then they
yeah,
zoom, but they zoom. And then
yeah,
they're in the alleyway. And then a Dementor.
yeah. Dementor comes up and tries to suck out the Dudley's soul. So also, this is the one with what's her name? Do you see my screen? The teacher.
Unfortunately, I don't. It's rough for me. I
What's
wish
her
I
name?
could.
I still can't remember. I was trying to remember all the whole day. Dolores Umbridge.
Oh, the
That's
lumber, yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. When it comes to plot line and just like character build up, I absolutely hate. No. I love the fact that I hate Dolores so much. She
Yeah.
did such
I
an
love
amazing job.
it, man.
Uh,
One of the best. She's terrible. Awful.
she is a horrible human being.
I know, man. It's just like I just like just the most hated character in all of Harry Potter. Like no one in no
Undoubtedly.
other movie except maybe not even in Naruto with Danzo, which all my Naruto fans we all know we hate him. But
I,
straight up,
I like Voldemort more than I like her. At least Voldemort
uh,
has some sort of charisma to him. He's evil, but he has
yeah,
like this funny aspect.
yeah,
This woman is just pure evil.
yeah, I know, right? Oh, she like remember that thing that she did on his hand, but that was cruel.
You
And
know,
then
you know
you just
what's
lame.
you know what's the one point that I have to say I felt the strongest emotions in Harry Potter. Well, some of the strongest emotions, unexpectedly strong. Remember at the end of this movie when the the half
Giant.
men, half horses uh
Oh, Centaur.
take away Dolores, right? And we think that
Yeah,
I thought that they were gonna kill her, or they were gonna just like never let her out.
yeah,
And then like a movie later, she shows up, and I'm just pissed off at the fact that she's still alive. I've never been so mad for
yeah.
somebody to be living in a movie.
He's just straight up, bro, like evil, bro. I don't even know. And what happened? Oh, but one of the coolest scenes in all of Harry Potter was when that, Dolores Umbridge, terrible character, right? Like this awful
Yeah.
person. She tries to kick out one of the teachers.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and then
this,
Dumbledore pulls up and
but the highest moment, like the doors open, Dumbledore just walks in and he's like, "Nah,
get your
you
butt
stand."
out my
He's like, "I
school.
got authority." But then like she's able to like, and then Dumbledore gets like kicked out basically. Oh, and
Oh
then wasn't this one where they go to Dumbledore's office?
yeah,
And then like he did that thing with Jake, but straight up fine, man. I'm not gonna
this
lie.
man be like, "I you ain't taking me with you, peace."
Yeah, and then that black guy was like Dumbledore. He's got style or something
Oh,
like that.
oh shoot. Okay, there's a lot of scenes that have some emotional impact in this movie and
Yeah.
in the franchise overall. And one of those is right here uh where Sirius Black dies. That's
Yeah, I was forgetting. I was thinking about like what is this movie actually about? Like I really couldn't put my finger on it. And then you just said it right now, like that scene where that stuff happens.
that scene. It's just this movie, I gotta say, it's probably the most forgettable when it comes to just pure plot. it's not supremely memorable, but just when it comes to the impact that a lot of the choices in the movie have, that the character choices,
Yeah.
Sirius Black's death, the choices that Dumbledore makes, the choices that
I,
Harry Potter makes in the final act, they have the most impact throughout the entire franchise and consequence, I so to say. I'll
yeah,
say,
I think we're forgetting about like the plot really. I think there's more to it that I would start remembering. But one of the fight scenes, Dumbledore versus Voldemort, and like the Ministry of Magic was straight fire. And when they had like the battle, and then it wasn't even when Sirius died, but the
mhm.
touching moment was when Harry Potter found out like he saw Sirius die, and then like I think it was
Yeah,
Rufus
I
that
gotta
had to
say,
hold him back, or like
mhm.
somebody, I don't remember who it was.
It was yeah, it was Professor Lucas, right? That's his name.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But that's one thing that, okay, I'll talk about that when we get to directorial stamp. Let's go ahead, give our scores for plot line.
Yeah, what happened? No, what happened though? Like, I think there's some.
No,
Are you watching
that's
the trailer? Or what
what
do you see?
what else did happen? Wait, what's
I
the
don't
overall goal of the movie? I'm thinking of the
know,
ending,
man.
and the ending is really doing a lot for me. But okay, in its fifth year, Harry leaves. Blah blah. Leaves. Okay, let's word for word. Now in his fifth
Oh,
year at
right. Okay.
Hogwarts, Harry learns that many in the wizarding community do not know the truth of his encounter with Lord Voldemort. Okay. Oh, this movie really had to do with like the aftermath of the maze scene. And then everybody, remember, nobody believed that Voldemort is actually back, and then this really just builds up the darkness of the entire franchise from that point on, where uh Voldemort is beginning to return, and the entire movie is this the one that's based off of Horcrux? Minister of Magic appoints his Toady Dolores Umbridge arts teacher, for he fears that Professor Dumbledore will take the job, but her teaching is deficient in that's a Nebby. Okay, so overall, the movie, the plot line doesn't have the overall structure that I think it needs to have to really be in the top tier when it comes to plot lines. However, the ending and the payoff and the consequence of many of the characters' actions do amazing when it comes to the character development aspect. Um, the movie, it's this is the movie that earlier on previous episodes we really talked about the forgettability of these films, but now I just I gotta say this is probably the most forgettable when it comes to storyline. There isn't much of rhythm of noting that occurs throughout the entire film. It's fairly uneventful except for the end. The ending is mm, I don't know. We might do a separate episode we talk about where we rank all the endings. But this right here is unbelievable in scale because it's so small in scale when you really think about it. The ending, however, is so big and so eventful that it makes up for the rest of the plot line. Nebi, do you have any final comments before we vote for plotline?
Um, I will agree that it does seem like substantial less happened in this movie, but everything that happened, I feel like was had a great impact. Some things I think we left out maybe were I feel like Harry was in a lot more pain, and he was in all of the previous movies he wasn't really connected to Voldemort as much as he became intertwined with him in this movie, and
Like,
you know how yeah.
this movie has the burden of being in the buffer zone. It's like the first four movies, they're all the build up. They're all you're getting to the climax and you're building up the world. All of these movies do amazing with exposition. It's like the first act of a film. And then the last two movies, I think the obviously the climax, the what everybody's been waiting for. I gotta say about Order of the Phoenix and Half Blood Friend Prince, they just have the burden of just being in the middle and just having to kind of do as much as they can without doing the most. If
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, one thing I'm gonna say though is like even though this is the buffer, I feel like it gave you some climax. You know what I mean? It gave you some
Yeah,
of that.
I
Gave you
said it
some of that. Gave
earlier.
you, yeah.
The ending,
Yeah.
I think
Oh yeah.
we might do a companion video to this where we rank all of the endings to the Harry Potter movies, because we've been talking for hours now and we still have a whole bunch more to say about Harry Potter. We both love the Harry Potter movies. We could talk about it for days, and we might just do a companion video to rank those endings, because these are some of the best endings in cinematic history when you really think about it.
Yeah, it's 100%. Like, bro, so much hype. And I remember like a lot of this movie was the characters trying to figure out a way to train, even
Hmm.
though like they don't have any like good teachers because the lowest Umbridge.
Yes,
And
that's something that happened. And
yeah,
it's a lot of just, nobody trusts Harry that Dumbledore is actually back. This is just Harry trying to prove the fact that Dumbledore is an actual threat. That's really the point of the movie. And I
yeah,
think,
and I think it goes more than it starts. You know, everything was like to the school previously. You know what I mean? But
mhm,
this book starts to branch out and goes to like the Ministry of Magic and like
yeah,
global magic.
I really, really like that. And once again, that's one thing that this movie really introduced. Uh, the last movie did a lot of world building, but that was still within the wizarding world of just schooling.
Yeah.
This one branches out all the way to, like you said, the Ministry of Magic. They go to some of the potion factories. They go around and really expand our understanding of the entire universe, this entire cinematic universe of Harry Potter. Okay,
I guess we really didn't discuss plot because there really wasn't too much of it, but mm, alright,
I'll go
I said
ahead
my
and
last.
we just said, for this also goes into the pacing. There isn't too much when it comes to the overall plot. It's really, as I said, just Harry trying to prove to everybody the what the impending doom that is to come. But the ending is amazing. I have the same complaint as I did for the first two movies, where the first act usually in these movies are pretty great. The first act does an amazing job. The everything up until Harry gets to Hogwarts is usually supremely fun, but then in once he finally gets to Hogwarts, it gets a little bit boring for like 20 or so minutes, where they're just doing a whole bunch of exposition. Oh, Harry, listen to all the things you missed over the summer while you were out away. They're just all of that. But here, I find that they actually didn't do that as much. Now they're getting more into they're branching out more, and they build up uh the exposition and whatever Harry did miss much better, because mainly Harry didn't miss much because everything is just centered around Harry now. Just everything is, oh, this is the kid that met up with us. I was gonna say Sirius Black. This is the kid that encountered Voldemort in the last movie, and it's just him trying to prove it. So overall, the pacing isn't bad. Just the
Oh
middle.
yeah, they don't believe in that thing. Is that true?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Like they didn't really believe him that Voldemort was back.
Yeah.
They didn't even say his name for a while. Forgot about that stuff.
Yeah, there was still
And
just throughout all of the movies. I don't know what. Maybe it was because I was a kid. Anytime they would be like, "Oh, do not utter his name," and then Voldemort, and then Harry would just be like, "Voldemort." I would be like, "Savage!" Oh,
uh, and one thing is like too, like in this movie, I feel like just like in the previous one we were talking about, it was more about the characters,
hmm.
and it's sort of like the plot really, and it's like
This,
remember Harry's love interest,
yeah,
Adrian?
isn't it?
And remember, oh, there's one thing also that happened in this movies too. Was like some people getting poisoned almost. Is that true? I think that's what's happening. Like like not poison as in like but like maybe I don't want to say possessed, but remember that one girl who was like floating and like
Oh, the ghost.
not the ghost, but like it was a girl, and I feel like they were trying to poison Dumbledore, and like somebody gave something to Harry to give to Dumbledore. Remember that?
No,
They were trying to kill Dumbledore. I don't know.
you
Remember?
know
Yeah.
what one thing I have to say. One thing that I definitely know about the books is that the Harry's love interest is built up much more. While
Okay.
the movies don't do a bad job, I feel like they could do a better job when it comes to that.
Do you think I should like watch the movies first and then read the books?
Huh?
Do you think I should like watch the movies first and then go back to reading the books?
I mean, you've already seen the movies, but you should
Maybe
probably
I should.
read the books at this point.
Yeah. I think I want to read the watch the movies though, so like I have an easier time picturing every scene and like the imagery as I like want like as I do in the movie.
It's really up to you. Let's go ahead. Do you have much else to say about the pacing?
No, I mean, yeah, not really.
Okay, I think I got my score for this.
Pacing, I'm gonna give it a yeah. Same as I got a score too. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna head out. Alright, what's up, guys? It's your boy Nib the Hub, and we're back to the original programming.
Okay. Okay. Directorial stamp. I remember I had something to say about this, but now I completely forgot it.
I mean, we're talking about the ending. I think when you were talking about how you wanted to talk about this before.
Okay, serious. I was talking about Sirius Blacks. Oh, something that in cinema that is often overlooked, but I find that the Harry Potter movies often do a great job with, is valuing reaction over action. And we talked about this in the earlier episodes. It's really, you see somebody die, you're like, oh shoot, he just died. The reaction of everybody else around that person is what really intensifies a death to you. When Sirius Black dies, you're like, oh shoot, you don't want that to happen. It hits you. But then once you see Harry in pure agony, that is what really gets you at that point.
Bellatrix was a dude. Bellatrix, so annoying, man.
Also,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so. Also, I'll get more into that in the
guy who killed him.
Oh, shoot, yeah. You know, we were just talking about the other woman and how annoying she is. Bellatrix is up there. She's pretty up there.
Yeah. I mean, she's more like, I almost think she's more like likable, of course, than like.
Yeah, I think she's more likable because she has the evil charisma to her. The other one, she doesn't have any sort of charisma. She's just hateable. But Bellatrix she's funny at points, and she has some redeeming qualities. Overall, though, she's a pretty evil person, though.
Yeah.
Let's look at who actually directed Order of the Phoenix. See what other work has he done. Mr. David Yates. I saw a lot of critiques of this guy saying that he ruined the Harry Potter franchise.
How can people say that, but every movie in this series is fine, bro.
Okay, when it comes to him, this guy is just Harry Potter galore. He made Harry Potter's 5 through 7. So from now on, when it comes to, I gotta say, one pro when it comes to style with this guy, he really captured the darkness of the later books. Like, this is not the earlier books. The first two movies and the first 2 books, they're introducing us to the world. They're more happy. They have nice colors, light colors. Prisoner of Azkaban starts to get a bit darker, and you are really able to be immersed into that action because of Alfonso Cuarón, who I gave a 10 out of 10 for his directorial stamp. And then you have all of the rest of the movies, Order of the Phoenix all the way to Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's much more dark. It's distinct. You can tell this is no longer a super happy franchise. This is dark. These are serious circumstances, and the director does a great job in conveying that, I'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I gotta say, though?
Yeah.
Every time I look at all the Harry Potter movies and how much money they made, I get supremely pissed off because so many of them are so close to $1 billion, but they didn't make it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, will they eventually make it? Like, do they still like update it? Because like, I imagine people still like buy or rent movies.
Yeah, but
Right.
when it comes to box office, they're just checking how many people went to the theaters. If you
Yeah.
were buying and renting movies, there would be a whole bunch of movies in the billion-dollar club.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Let's see.
And, yeah. But like, yeah. I mean, I wish I could remember more about this movie, but I feel like we're missing something major. Because like, how did they get to that part where they hold up? Wait a minute. Something not right. I just remembered one thing that might have happened. I'm pretty sure in that. Okay, here's how we can. Okay, here's what happened. Remember that scene with all the balls, mystical balls, tell the future.
Yes.
So I guess that's what they were after. So it was almost like a chase.
Hmm.
And I actually think that there was some stuff over in that scene, and like or in that like arc or act where the directing was pretty cool. And I remember them falling, and then like they were like, but yeah, not much to say really. But I think there was more to this movie than just the act. I think we're just getting
I
like
gotta say, I definitely have to say, if there is more to the movie, it's not good that we don't remember it. It's
yeah, for sure.
definitely. But for right now, I talked a bit about the style that I got from the director. Uh, from this point on, I gotta say, for directorial stamp, I'll give the first two movies the same grade and the last two movies the same grade, because I find that all of them are dark, but I feel I can tell which movies the director tried a bit harder on, even though he should have tried his hardest on all of them. Uh, Maybe it's because as he went on, he got more comfortable, but later on, he got a lot better when it comes to style and distinct approach
Yeah.
to movies. So I'm gonna go ahead and put down my rating for that.
You're gonna give it a 3 again, like before?
Out of 10.
Dang.
Okay, so when it comes to payoff, I gotta say I went in with a lot of excitement. You can see at 8.5, probably the most excitement up until this point, and I gotta say, it didn't. Okay, up until so far we talked about the lead up isn't really like supremely exciting, but I gotta say the payoff and the emotional intensity of that final act really makes up for the rest of the movie.
100% facts. This payoff is 100% probably the highest, other than like I would have gave one of them a 10. But this payoff, they finally introduced Voldemort as a full body, full fledged. They saw this capacity. They finally saw what Dumbledore could do, which was kind of fine. They pinned them against each other. They really hyped up the battle. Sirius died.
Oh
The
no!
emotional impact.
You know what I forgot about Dumbledore versus Voldemort.
Yeah,
That's
so I was the same. You forgot
yo.
about that? Bro,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No,
Wow.
I mean I remembered it, but I didn't really like think about it. Just seeing the full abilities of both of these just huge beings just going against each other, it was amazing. That right there is
Yeah,
payoff.
it was like, yeah. And then like Harry could have killed Bellatrix, who just killed Sirius, with a spell. And then Harry just couldn't do it. And then Voldemort and Harry Potter are facing each other, right? Boom, right there. And then
Mhm.
Dumbledore comes out of nowhere from like the green fire. And then boom, and then you can see Voldemort get scared, and it's like, shoot, it's really fun.
Okay, I got my score down for payoff. I know what I'm going with. I'll let you come up with yours as I look at the critical acclaim. Looking at Rotten Tomatoes, uh, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire was at 88. So far, the last two movies have been the highest ranked. Let's see if this continues that trend. Ooh, this is the lowest ranked of movie so far. Order of the Phoenix,
Wow.
78. Looking at Rotten
78?
Tomatoes. The audience
No.
score is still right around that 81% range, 85% range.
The audience gave it that?
Audience still gives it that 80. This is the first movie in the 70s when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. And now let's look at IMDb. I gotta say, I feel that that's just right for this movie.
What they give it?
Well, I would say it's maybe like that 2% higher. I don't think it deserves to be in the 70s. I definitely think it should be in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But just like an 80, low 80s, that's what I would give this movie when it comes to just based off of other Rotten Tomatoes movies. And
You know,
then
for me, I would every Harry Potter movie is above an 85. Just said.
and then Order of the Phoenix 7.5. I think this is the second lowest rank so far.
No, that's hype though.
Okay,
I
so
liked it. They ain't like the critics no more.
combined, we're at a 7.65, the lowest combined critical acclaim so far. Now, let's go ahead and give our scores. Plotline, I have it at a 7. You'll see
I
a
gave it an 8.
all right, 7 point. You'll see a trend with mine. Pacing, I have it at a 7.15.
Oh, dang. I gave him pacing at 8.5.
Okay, so let's get the 100 on the calculator out. 7.15 and that 8.5. 7.83. This
For
is
directing?
no for pacing. Directorial stamp 7.3.
Okay, that's good. Before you gave it like the other movie, you gave it a 3, right?
I gave Goblet of Fire a 3.
Maybe yeah. I gave it a 7.
7? Ah.
Yeah.
So we had a 7.15 again. And now payoff. I have it at a 7.5.
Wow. I give the payoff a 10. It deserves it. It deserves it.
Okay, I think that puts us right around an 8.75.
Because like maybe they made it like maybe they made the movie like to where the beginning like it's more slow, it's more steady. The end, junk, but that take off.